Hey everyone, welcome back to your week ahead astrology breakdown with me, Matthew from Still Water Alchemy. These weeks are just clicking by. We're already going to mid-January, and soon it's going to be Pisces season. I feel like we just started Aquarius season. And I'm not sure if you all felt this on your end, but I really did feel like this remarkable shift when Mercury stationed direct last week. I woke up on Friday and I just feel like I had this renewed clarity, and as if my head was out of this fog that had been kind of around near the tail end of that retrograde. So now with Mercury and Venus direct, we have no retrogrades until the end of April. So please use this time wisely. And last week as well on Friday, we had that Sun Saturn cazimi. So a cazimi is when a planet gets so close to the sun, about a degree, that its properties get magnified. So we're talking about Saturn, we're talking about rules, restriction, order, boundaries. And I'm not sure if you all heard, but in Canada, with the Freedom Convoy that's going on, the GoFundMe page had over $10 million of donations. And on Friday, under that Sun, Saturn, cazimi, and also Mercury stationing direct conjunct Pluto, we found out that due to the fine print being breached or deemed that the protesters were not being peaceful, that all the money that was fundraised was not going to be allocated to the protesters. So for me, again, we've kind of been following this from an astrological standpoint, that with Saturn being so amplified, that going over that fine print or really abiding to rules and the restrictions in place was a very interesting manifestation. So let me know if you felt anything on a personal level with regards to anything that has come up since Friday on your end with around Mercury stationing direct, or even just Saturn themes in your own life, especially with the house that is ruled by Aquarius in your chart. It may just seem more clear where you want to place a bit more discipline or hard work or structure in your life now that we had that Sun Saturn cazimi. Okay. Perfect. This week is actually really quite nice. We have some really lovely transits, all starting on Monday, February 7th. Reminder that we are currently based out of Toronto, Canada. So we're starting at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we see here this lovely trine between Mars and Uranus. And let's remind ourselves that this is going to be the only trine between Mars and Uranus that we have for the entire year, because when Mars goes into Gemini later this year in August, it starts to slow down and then it will retrograde in October. So trines are a really benevolent aspect between two planets. And so with Mars being that action, Uranus being this unexpected change or surprise or revolution, it may just be that little kick in the tail that you need to start doing something. It may manifest as inspired action, that suddenly you wake up and you know exactly what you want to do or exactly how you want to act. Part of me is also curious with the moon being exalted in Taurus conjunct Uranus, and then we have Mars and Venus so close together in Capricorn. It kind of feels like this Cupid's arrow, where it's like this maybe unexpected romance or passion, or you want to pursue love or relationships or something that makes you feel enamored. This kind of overwhelming sense of that energy on Monday. It can manifest in a couple different ways. And remember, with the moon conjunct Uranus, that it can just be your mood or your energy or even your intuition just switches very suddenly. So be cautious of that. And the moon also in Taurus, it's like that throat area that Taurus rules. So I would also be very diligent about how you speak and the words that you speak or listen to in terms of your emotions and how that regulates. We also have the moon making that applied square to Saturn and the sun. So it also can just be something where it is this inspired action and you want to do it, but it may require a lot of work, or you may have to have a little bit of patience as it all unfolds, and you want it right now and you want this immediate gratification, but there's going to be some laying of the tiles to make sure that road is fully formed. So again, this can manifest in a couple of different ways. The one thing I'm actually kind of curious about as well, Mars can represent illness and injury and disease. And with Uranus here, especially with the moon exalted too, it could also be like a sudden switch in your health or an injury getting better. So if you've been feeling under the weather or if you've been rehabbing an injury, Monday may also feel like all the work that you've been doing or all the rest that you've been experiencing is for the better, and you'll finally start feeling better in whatever way that turns out for you. So needless to say, Monday is a really nice day. And also too, let's not forget, we have this moon Jupiter sextile. So it's a really great day to really utilize inspired action and to pursue what makes you happy and bring in a bit more passion and love as well. When we move to Tuesday, we now have the moon making that exact square to the sun. And then we also have the moon making trines to Mercury and Pluto. The one thing I'll say here is that there can be this teetering whenever we have a sun moon square of head versus heart, right? And so sometimes, let's say you had that inspired action yesterday under the Mars-Uranus. And I mean, we even still have that here too. So Tuesday, we can still be experiencing this Mars-Uranus trine as well. But there can be, is this really realistic? Am I dreaming too big? Can I really achieve everything that I've sought out for? Am I worthy of love? Like there might be all these kind of limiting beliefs or thoughts in your mind swirling. The nice thing is we do have the moon making a sextile to Neptune here. So being able to dream or being able to tap into our spiritual self or our spiritual practice will really help in this regard. Also too, with the moon making trines to Mercury and Pluto, this can also just be a really great day where news comes in or conversations are had or just new ideas or insights are coming through now that Mercury's finally, and with Venus too, navigating the landscape and following the path. There may be certain things that you're relearning or that finally makes sense, that even, let's say, if your mind is trying to dissuade you, you now have that mental clarity and you know exactly what it is you want moving forward. So honor that and trust that. And like I said, we still have this Mars-Uranus trine. So again, really pay attention to where you want to move or where your energy is being directed, because it's probably propelling you in the right direction, even if it doesn't make sense. So this could also be something to look at in your own individual natal chart, the houses that are ruled by Capricorn and Taurus, to see where that can directly manifest for you, or just clues on how it could manifest this week. Wednesday. So now we have the moon in Gemini. The one thing just to note here is that with the moon, it's making that applied square to Jupiter. And so Jupiter being in its home sign of Pisces, of course, for me, this is quite nice. It just means that, especially with the moon in Gemini being a lot more social and curious, you may overextend yourself, or maybe you may have a lot of social plans that you want to commit to, but then it's like, I can't literally do everything. So it's just making sure that your mind is clear and focused and not kind of rattling around in many different directions. And even this would be a thing to take note of, especially when we get to tomorrow, because the moon will soon be making that applied square to Neptune. So I would just really make sure that you have the physical energy and the stamina throughout this week, so that your mind and that fatigue doesn't cloud your judgment or make you do something or overcommit to something that is not actually going to serve you anyway. So this, in a positive manifestation, can just be like a lot of really nice things to be happy about, a lot of nice things to share and to talk about, maybe with what you are putting out there and moving forward with. You want to share that good news and talk about it. This is also a nice energy too, if you wanted to post on social media, advertise. There can be a lot of nice blessings that come in, and maybe even more than you bargained for. So this is also kind of a case of too, be careful what you wish for and careful what you put out into the universe, especially with your words, because it can come through very quickly. And then when we move on to Thursday, this is kind of the energy that I was thinking about. It's nice too, because the moon is making that applied trine to Saturn to ground it really nicely. But then we also have that applied square to Neptune. So if you can really calm your mind and really be focused about what you want to achieve midweek, you will be golden. I also feel like there could be nice opportunities for collaboration or connection, or again, for whatever reason, if you wanted to continually post content or make those connections, this is quite nice. But I wouldn't stay on social media too long with this moon square Neptune energy. It can also be like believing in different fantasy or different projections that other people are spinning or saying, and then getting in your head about it, especially with that moon in Gemini. It really is our thoughts, our words, our communication, even your nervous system. So if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed, really pay attention to what you're taking in content wise or energy wise to make sure that there are no kind of energy drains or that people are trying to siphon your energy. It is a really great day to be productive on Thursday. So I would kind of lean in that direction. And then we can also see here that Mercury is getting closer and closer to Pluto. So that exact conjunction, again, I'm sure on both a global and individual scale, something is going to come through, or some kind of news or information is going to be announced, or like a truth revealed, or some kind of expose, or maybe even a scandal. So if this does happen near like Wednesday or Thursday, that can also cause that emotional upheaval, or kind of being frustrated or angry or shocked, and that kind of clouding your judgment or influencing what you speak of, right? Sometimes with the moon making a frictional aspect to Neptune, it's like your emotions are riled up for no reasons. Like you're getting angry at a dream that you had when you slept, even though you know it's not real, it can still have that visceral connection to you, or just being in your head and kind of like going around and around in circles and chasing something that isn't real. So that's just something to be cognizant of, because sometimes those moon Neptune aspects can be tricky. Also, this is very an energy too. If any of you have watched the Tinder Swindler, this is very kind of like moon Neptune frictional aspects of like what's real and what's not. I feel like the first girl is a Pisces, the second girl is an Aries, and the third girl is a Virgo with like a Gemini moon or rising. So if you've seen that, let me know your thoughts, because I was like analyzing everything. I was like, what zodiac sign mixology is present here? So yeah, great day for work. Careful of what you consume on Thursday. Friday, so now we have the moon in the later parts of Gemini. Overall, this is quite nice. We have that moon making a separating trine to the sun. So thoughts and words being quite clear, especially for those east of the Atlantic. On Friday for you, this will be nice because the moon will be making that applied trine to the sun for most of Friday. And then for those of us in the other side, east of the Atlantic, then you'll see that this will just be separating here. So this is a really nice energy. Of course, this is something to watch, the Mercury-Pluto conjunction. It's literally exact at 27 degrees and 16 minutes at 9 a.m. on Friday, February 11th. So I just feel like there's going to be something that people are going to talk about, especially with that sun moon in air signs. It's like people are going to be communicating or wanting to talk or just seeing what's going on. So I'm just kind of curious to see how that will manifest, like I said, both on a global and individual level. I mean, if we're talking about Capricorn, that really is that long-term structure, tradition. It could be something around the pandemic, of course. Obviously, that's going to differ depending on what country you live in. And if you do have planets or angles in those late degrees of cardinal signs, so Capricorn, Cancer, Libra, or Aries, just be aware that you'll probably feel that more strongly. This can also be a nice positive manifestation too with Mercury and Pluto of reprogramming or certain beliefs now finally cementing, or you've done a lot of this work for the past 6 to 8 weeks or indefinitely to really have these strong beliefs, to have these strong structures, and now you're actually seeing it manifest quite profoundly. So that can also be a really nice energy to tap into and see what's coming through at the end of the week. Saturday and Sunday, we have the moon both in Cancer. So Saturday, it's around 7 degrees, Sunday, 19. The one thing I will say, kind of like when I was intuitively tracking this, it was that Saturday, of course, is going to be quite nice because we have the moon making that trine to Jupiter. So very fertile, abundant, creative energy. Also just kind of like a nice auspicious placement in general. But we do also have the moon opposing everything that we have in Capricorn here. So just be careful. Part of me is also like, be cautious of overindulging in many ways, especially with the moon opposing Mars. There could be this kind of like power dynamic, or even I'm thinking too on Sunday, just to be careful with your thoughts and your words. And sometimes too, if you think or believe that someone is mad at you and you're creating these stories, or if you're getting upset with someone, but you haven't had that conversation yet, this is kind of like how that's manifesting for me, in the sense that we have the moon, especially on Sunday, opposing Venus, Pluto, and Mercury. So just be cautious of your emotional state. If you need to reach out and have that conversation with someone, it may provide that clarity, especially lessons learned over the retrograde. And again, on Sunday even, we have the moon making that trine to Jupiter. So it would be a nice day to maybe spend some time on your own with loved ones, manifesting, mood, vision board, watching your favorite movie, TV show. This would be nice. But not to get kind of lost in the emotion to the extent that it could really dim your own personal power. Part of me is also too to be cautious over the entire weekend, given that the moon on Saturday is still making that applied opposition to Mars and Venus, which are almost conjunct at this point, of going back to past opportunities, situations, lovers that are just not good for you. There could be a situation where you're really needing to trust your intuition, which is nice with this strong water influence, and make sure your boundaries are heard, or that you're not just going back to something out of obligation or to be nice or kind. I'm also kind of curious as well with this energy. That is what I'll say. Trust your intuition and don't allow other power dynamics or structures or people of influence dissuade you from what you know to be true. And if you need time on the weekend for yourself and just to connect back in, this would be a really great day to do so. And like I said, just intuitively with the moon and Cancer, Cancer rules the stomach and the breast. Just be cautious of like overeating or eating too much or doing too much. Again, there can be this kind of overindulgence with the moon and Jupiter together. So long as you're not going too overboard on Saturday, I think on Sunday you'll be in a better position to have that discernment and work things out in your favor. Okay. So that's the week. We can kind of see there's a nice even flow with these planets now retrograde. I'm super excited to see how everything's going to take place. That Mercury conjunct Pluto on Friday will be very interesting. And of course, Monday and Tuesday are just great days with that Mars trine Uranus energy. So tap in, see where you want to exert and place your energy, and trust that these opportunities will just line up like dominoes, especially for those of you who have been active, who've been doing the work, who've been really making those sacrifices and placing those boundaries in place to now allow more aligned energy and love to come in. Okay. Beautiful. Have a fabulous week ahead, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.